Special Agent in Charge Brutnell and his team will be handling the shooting investigation in this case. So I want to start with, this is a tragic situation, but the deputies acted professionally and accordingly to protect themselves while trying to de-escalate the situation, and I'll get further into it. But this happened so rapidly while the deputies were out there. The deceased subject is Isabella North. Her date of birth is 12/23/94. The investigation is still preliminary, it's still ongoing, so as we're going further in the investigation, there'll be more details later on. At approximately 3:30 this afternoon, County Dispatch received a call from a passerby that was flagged down by Isabella. The location is Den and Dan Lane, and it's actually a pet cemetery where this location occurred at. The passerby said that Isabella stated she needed help. The call taker did a great job taking notes and trying to talk to Isabella. Isabella stated multiple times to the call taker that she feels like she's going to kill somebody. She actually stated in a quote, "I really feel like I'm going to kill somebody." The other one too, she stated, "I have been diagnosed as clinically insane." She also stated on the phone call that she was armed with a knife. So clearly we had somebody who was homicidal and who was armed. This entire interaction, and we will be releasing the body-worn camera immediately after this, it took basically 30 seconds. There was 2 deputies that arrived on scene. They knew that she was homicidal and they knew that she had a knife. They quickly arrived on scene. They started talking to her. They tried to have a positive interaction, but very quickly she pulls out a 12-inch knife from her side. She pulls that knife up in an attacking position. She raised it above her head in that fighting position. This is all happening extremely rapidly. As she pulls out that knife, they pull out their guns, they draw down. They started giving her demands: drop the knife, drop the knife, drop the knife, repeatedly. They were trying to de-escalate that situation as quickly as possible. However, the subject kept moving towards the deputies. She kept approaching in a quicker and faster manner, and that forced the deputies to have to fire their rounds at her to protect their own lives. Each deputy fired 1 round. You know, it's a very sad situation. The deputies are all trained in de-escalation. However, the subject did not allow us to talk to her. They did not allow us to de-escalate the situation. No deputies ever going to work, wanting to get in this type of situation. They all want to go home to their families. They all want to have a safe night, a safe shift, whatever they're on. But this subject clearly was going to kill somebody. And had the deputies not done what they did, who knows what innocent citizen could have been killed by this subject out there tonight. So again, this is a tragic situation, but our deputies did what they were trained to do. Our deputies did what they were professionally trained to go out there every day, and they acted accordingly. So I go back to it, FDLE, we're investigating the shooting part of this investigation. For our deputies, we're going to have our mental health team out there with them to support them and support their families, because this is just as much of a tragic situation for them as it is for our community. Any questions?
Do you have any prior run-ins with her?
So there was numerous incidents where her name was in calls. One was where somebody had an overdose. One was where she had run off from her house. One was that there was supposedly some type of domestic situation where her name was brought up into it. So, as I said, it's still preliminary. We're still going back, but every call that she was involved in, they seemed like she was on the periphery of it. But there's things involved with narcotics, things involved with domestics, things involved with her running off, and then, incidents where we had to go back and verify that she was still alive.
Sorry if I missed this, but what's her condition now?
She's deceased.
Okay. Is there any different protocol when handling someone with clear mental health issues?
So we have a behavioral health team. Our members are all trained in de-escalation techniques. The problem in the situation is you had no time. She did not allow us to use our training, our techniques. She immediately, going on scene, "Hey, can we talk to you?" You're going to see this all on the body-worn camera. We're very transparent. We want people to see this. This is what deputies, this is real life. The deputies went out there, they tried to talk to her. She immediately goes into her waistband, pulls out a knife, gets into a stance. If she had just stood in that stance, they could have kept trying to de-escalate it, but she starts advancing towards the deputies. There gets to a point where, the deputies' lives are at risk. You got to protect your own life, and that's where they had to do what they had to do, unfortunately, to make sure they're safe. But what they had to do was the right thing. What they did to protect their lives and go home, those deputies did the right thing.
FDLE is investigating, is that correct?
Yeah, as in all of our shootings, FDLE investigates it.
Before we get body cam, can you just give us more information about how close these officers were to her?
Yeah, it was a very close proximity. Probably by the time they were actually firing shots, we're within 10 feet. So rules of engagement, if somebody with a knife, they're coming at you. And I'll tell you this, going back to those deputies, this is where training kicks in. Everything they did was training. First thing, hey, can we talk to you? But this happened so rapidly. I know I want people, when they see this, realize, just get a stopwatch, 30 seconds. You know, it may seem like a long time, but in all reality, when you have somebody who pulls out a knife on you, it's not that long. It all happens very rapidly. Then it was at a point where she got into the stance. She pulls that knife out, she gets into a stance. She's pointing at the deputies. Then she starts moving towards the deputies. Or put it down, put it down. I can tell you right now, I can imagine they in no way wanted to do what they had to do, but they had to do it. And I will stand up here 100% times. I watched the BWC. I listened to the 911 call. Those deputies did what they had to do. Those deputies protected their own lives. And God forbid, those deputies allowed her to go off and wander off, she would have killed somebody tonight. Those deputies prevented a homicide.
Sheriff, you said someone had called it in, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Any info on her family or where she was living?
She lives in this Hudson area. We did notify the next of kin. The family said before she left, they were actually going to notify. It seemed like they were going to notify us because she just took off from the house. This is clearly somebody who had homicidal issues. She had suicidal issues. She had mental health issues. At the same time, as much as we wanted to provide her help, she made that decision. And that's another point to make very clear. She chose to make those decisions. She chose to go have a knife, pull it out on deputies, and charge towards deputies. She chose and dictated the actions our deputies had to do.
Sorry, so the parents said that they might have called?
There was I'm not sure, that's what I said. Somebody from a family member said, hey, she had taken off, we didn't know where she was. We were actually probably thinking about calling law enforcement.
Final question, how are the deputies doing tonight?
So that's what we said. And I'll say this, it's a tragic situation. From the Pasco Sheriff's Office standpoint, we understand that for our members, when they're in these type of critical situations, they're going to live with this forever. Their families are going to live with this. So we have our chaplain corps, we have our own team that's going to go out there and support them. You know, they're part of the investigation. FDLE has to talk to them. The state attorney's office has to talk to them. But we recognize that they're human beings. Please everybody remember that. These are human beings. These are deputies, men and women that go out in uniform every day, but we all go home. We all have families. We all have somebody that loves for us and cares for us. And you know what? We just want to live normal lives too. We just chose a profession that puts us in risky situations such as this. And those two deputies did what they had to do. They survived. I went up there and told them, hey, whatever you need, we're here for you. Because everybody can sit there and second guess this. Everybody can sit there in your lives and say, oh, I watched this. This is what they should have done. Don't do that. If you're going to do that, join the Pasco Sheriff's Office. Join a police department. If you think you could do it better, then join the Sheriff's Office up. And we'll be more than happy to have you. But at the same time, I hope everybody out there has sympathy and empathy. Not for all the families that are involved, please, actually for all the families that are involved, but also for those two deputies that had to take that action tonight.
Sorry, and
Yeah.
she's on leave now. What's the next step?
Yeah, they'll be on leave for a couple days.
You said she was at a pet cemetery?
Yes.
What was she doing there? Was there any witnesses?
No witness. I don't know if there was any other witness at the time. We don't believe there was, but she happened to be, I don't know why she was at that pet cemetery. She was sitting in a pet cemetery. She was there. Passerby saw it. They called it in. I will say this. God was looking over that person that made the call to 911 and handed her the phone, because she's clearly on the phone saying, I'm going to kill somebody. I feel like I'm going to kill somebody. And we're like, thank God she didn't kill that woman that gave her that phone to call, to talk to the call taker on. So there's absolutely an angel looking over that woman. I can imagine she's going to be stressed out tonight, but don't worry, God was clearly looking over her.
She left the scene before?
Yep, she left the scene before it happened.
Will there be any thing written and sent to us just about their age and
Yep.
their age?
Yeah. So tomorrow we'll be able to provide. It's part of the investigation now, but tomorrow through our public information office we'll be able to provide all the information.
What were, do you have their ages?
The deputies?
people that gave the phone to her?
The woman who, no, I don't have her information right now.
Is there still scene, Sheriff? Is there still scene down there?
Oh, it's still a crime scene.
Oh,
It's
so
going to be
it's
held
for
for
a
a while.
while? Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be held for a while.
How many shots in the round, I'm sorry?
1 round each.
One?
2 deputies, 1 round each. So 2 rounds altogether.
Where?
That's part of the investigation. Yeah. So, all right, everybody.
Any
Have a
other
good.
updates tonight or probably not?
We're going to the video will be out tonight, and then a synopsis of everything. Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
God
you.
bless everybody. Thank you.